All right. How about now, Denali? Cool. Yeah. All right. So Denali is my older brother.
Okay.
This is my friend and neighbor Rob, and like I said, we are trying to teach him to play a little bit of drums. So I'll turn this in case you want to see what he's saying or whatever, but don't pay attention to it too much. So let's just start out with one arm. We'll start out with your right arm,
Okay.
and we're just gonna do the hi hat. So what we're gonna do, if we're gonna do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and cool. So we're gonna do this part real slow. We're going to on the 2 and the 4. We're going to try to hit the snare and the hi hat at the same time.
The
we'll
2 and the 4.
yeah. So we'll go one. Okay. So let's start with the.
Sorry. Okay.
You're good. So start with me on the hi hat. So we'll start real slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
Oh, the
Yeah.
last 4 is on here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's try it again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Hey, let's
You told me
let,
not to cuss.
let's reduce it a little bit. So let's just do 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
So we'll do 1, 2.
Oh.
So 2 and 4 in the snare, right? So 1, 2.
Oh, we're going to do 1, 2.
So on the 2, try to hit them both at the same time if you can. So we'll go nice and slow. 1 and then both at the same time.
Hit this.
Yeah, hit them by itself once and then hit them both at the same time.
Hit what both?
This one and the snare. Try to hit
Okay.
both sticks at the same time.
Okay.
Exactly. So by itself, together. By itself, together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. How's that feeling?
Good.
All right. So now let's try to do it a little differently. Here.
I was going to say, it's kind of like me learning music. I have to learn the rhythm of the.
So what we're gonna try to do is 1 and 3 and. So do it with me here. 1 So you're doing good. What we need to try to do now is make sure that when it's time to hit the snare, we hit them both at the same time. And
Okay.
so that's going to be the tricky part to get past now.
All right.
So I'll try again. 1 and 3 and. All right, so let's try it.
So I just do it all the time.
Yeah, so this one's just going to be nonstop.
So the one I'm actually going to alternate is this. This is to be constant.
Yep. So it's just going to be 1
No.
and.
Right. 1 and
Here, you count it. You count it. Here, you count it. Go nice and slow. Go however slow you need to.
Okay.
So count it out loud for me.
All right. 1 and 2 and 3 and.
So try to hit them on. You hit on the 3. Try to hit it on the
Alright.
2. Just do the 2 each time. Don't worry about any other ones. Just the 2.
Do I do it after the 2 or right on the 2?
Do the snare on the 2, and then just keep going on the hi hat until we get back to the 1. 1 and 2.
I should have went down, right?
Yeah. So 1 and together on the 2. Yep. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And let me know if I'm going too fast. We can slow it down however much you need, because that's what you got to do with drums. Sometimes you got to slow it obnoxiously slow.
I'm trying to hear and mimic what I.
So count it out loud for me. So let's go nice and slow, and we're aiming for 2 and the 4 in the snare.
All right. 2 and 4.
Yep.
1
And-
and 2.
Yep. So let's try that one again. So remember on the 2, let's just do 1 and 2 and focus on that part.
1
And
and
2.
So actually, I'm doing 1 is a beat, and is a beat, 2 is a beat.
Those are they're gonna be half. So we'll talk very briefly about a little bit of music theory. So you know what a bar and a measure is, right?
Yeah.
So in the middle of the bar, we have a certain number of beats, and usually you got 4 quarter beats.
Okay.
So that's the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you double that to 8, and you got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So each one of these is actually half a beat when you're doing it this
Okay.
way.
So when I'm doing 1,
Yeah. So
so it's, it's
yeah.
it's
So
very
1,
light.
2, 3, 4.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4.
And if it's easier for you to count it that way while you're trying to hit the snare, go for it.
Okay.
Oh, nice. And 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you got it. You got it.
All right.
How you feeling about that?
Yeah, I wouldn't recognize that. Well, I do. The talent it takes to make all this run. When you sit in an orchestra, I mean, if you're on stage and you're a performer and you see the orchestra down below and there's drums, you never realize what exactly.
And like orchestra percussion is so much different than this as well. Like I consider myself to be a drummer specifically and not a percussionist, because in my mind a percussionist is like a drummer plus all this other stuff.
Right. Okay.
Because they do, like, I don't know how to play xylophone or like bongos or whatever.
Yeah.
I know how to play this kind of, but all that other stuff, I don't know how to play it.
That's why I said I listen to this whenever I'm learning a piece of music. This is like a learning tool to listen to how many beats come in until you hear a drum or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to bring it back to, instead of doing 1 and, okay, you want to put your foot on the pedal on for me?
Yep.
Instead of doing 1 and 2 and, we're going to go back to 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's because I'm about to break your brain. We're about to add in the bass, your right foot. So what I want you to do, you're going to do the bass on the 1, then the snare, then the bass, and then the snare again. And you're going to have the hi-hat paired with each of them. So it's going to be snare, or it's going to be bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, snare, like that. Yep. Exactly. So now what I want you to do is hit the bass and the hi-hat at the same time. So don't worry about the snare right now. Just try to hit the your foot and this at the same time.
I'll hit it at the same time.
At the same time. Yeah, exactly. Boom, 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 boom. Right? Okay. So now I want you to try to alternate between that and what we were doing a moment ago with the snare. So alternate between hitting the bass and the hi-hat and the snare and the hi-hat. And go as slow as you need to.
Alternate hitting the snare and this.
Yep. So we'll go real slow. So first, hi-hat and bass.
Okay.
And then hi-hat and snare. Hi-hat, bass.
Wait.
You're good. Hi-hat, snare. Almost there. You're like 75% of the way there. The only thing left is to hit the hi-hat with the bass.
Isn't that what I'm doing?
No, so what you're doing is you're going bass, bass. You're alternating the bass and the hi-hat in just that one spot.
So.
So now you're doing it with the snare.
All right, what am I
So remember, so keep this one going. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So keep it going. Snare, or bass, snare, 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 bass. So if you need to slow it down, go ahead and slow it down. We're picking up speed real quick here. See, Denalid is relating to you right now.
Oh, cool.
He is understanding how you feel.
Okay, so. Wait.
So So remember, let's just count this real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. So keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, snare. Okay. So now, what we need to fix here is when you're doing the snare, you're not doing the hi-hat with it. So we need to fix that part of it now.
Okay.
So, and like I said, we just go slow. Yeah. So bass, snare, bass. This is the part that breaks every people's brains. This is the first major hill. Yep. This is exactly how I started too. Bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, snare. Ah, that's it. You're getting it now. And I'm gonna tell you real quick what this channel actually has a motto that I say at the end of every stream, and that motto is, drums are hard and music is hard, so be kind to yourself. This is hard stuff, man.
It is. All right, let's see.
Are you getting it? Two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Just keep going as long as you need to feel a little bit comfortable with it.
Okay.
You seem to be doing pretty well on it right now.
We'll see. Get your foot workout or your
Oh, your leg?
your calves. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So let me ask you this: with your foot, how do you have your foot positioned? Because I can't see it from here. Do you have your heel on the ground and you're tapping your foot like this?
Like what?
Are you doing like this with the bass? All right, you're doing like this.
My whole foot.
Okay. So there are two ways that bass is typically done, right? There's what's called ankle down, which is where you're tapping your foot like that.
Okay.
Jazz players like to do that. The other way is ankle up or foot up. So that's where you start with your heel off the ground, and your heel just basically stays off the ground the whole time. That's the way I like to do it.
Like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the way I like to do it because you get a bit more power from it. And this is that's the first groove that most people start with. That is the real groove what you're doing. What you're doing is called 4 on the floor. And remember, always go as slow as you need to. A mistake a lot of drummers make is speeding up too fast. So like I've been working on a song for a while, and the song is at 87 BPM. When I first started learning it, I dropped it down to 40, and it was so slow. Like the bass kick, normally at full speed, it's normally like that kind of thing. I was going like. Yeah, I was doing it so slow.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, like I say, obnoxiously slow is what you need.
So when you're doing a song, you learn the rhythm on each piece that you're doing throughout the whole song.
So I typically I don't do each instrument individually anymore. I used to, unless I'm working with like a particularly difficult part. I when I'm able to read the music, so I can see it as a whole thing of what I'm looking at. So
So what you're saying is, if you want to play the drums, you should learn to read music first.
if you want to learn to play songs
Yeah.
the way that they're written, then that you don't need to, but in my opinion, it will accelerate.
Okay.
But like me, I don't consider myself particularly skilled when it comes to listening by ear.
Okay.
So for me, listening to a song and learning it that way isn't as effective as me getting sheet music. But there are a lot of people out there that can listen to a song and then play it.
Okay.
I'm just not one of them.
Yeah, me neither.
But like in my opinion, drum sheet music is 10 times easier to learn than anything else. I learned drum sheet music in half an hour. I'm not even kidding.
Really?
Half an hour.
Well, you're smart then.
No, I mean it's not even because of that. It's because it really is that easy.
Okay.
Pull that a little closer there. Yeah, I mean, because like you don't have to worry about keys and stuff, right? So, like a piano, you see a note on middle C, whatever. Depending on all the stuff before that, that might not actually be C. It might be some other note, right? It could be anything depending on how many sharps or flats they have before it.
Right.
With drum, that note is always the snare, every time. Snare's in the same spot. Nothing else is going to be there. That line is reserved for your snare.
Okay.
Same thing with all these other ones. You don't have to worry about like which tone each individual instrument needs to make. It they all make one noise for the most part. I mean, you can give a texture and nuance to them, but from the point of view of the sheet music, it's all just one thing. Right. So
I had a maestro that learned the drums before he learned any piece in the orchestra.
so
Give him, for some reason, for rhythm.
and if you want, at some point we can take out a look at a little bit of basic sheet music,
Okay.
and we can kind of relate that a little bit.
Okay.
So what I want you to try to do now, so we're doing that beat that's basically boom, pop, boom, pop, boom, pop. We're going to try doing what we were doing with the hi-hat before, and instead of doing, we're going to do boom, pop, boom, pop, boom, pop, boom, pop. Like what the pop is the snare. So remember, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. And try to get that bass on the 1 and the 3 if you can. Like I said, slow it down if you need to. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and so
Now, I'm trying to.
so and this is where you're gonna probably want to slow it down a bit, right? Because pop. Okay, so remember, 2 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom, pop, boom, pop, boom, pop, boom, pop, boom, pop, boom, pop. Bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, snare. So try to sing the snare once and try hitting the hi-hat with it if you can. So instead of doing, just give me, yeah, pop. Yeah, so boom, pop, boom, pop, bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, snare, bass. Okay. So, yeah, this is brain breaking, isn't it?
I feel
So-
like everything's been doing right,
Mm-hmm.
right, and I'm a lefty.
Yeah, and that is
Does that
a unique
matter?
challenge because I am on a right-handed kit.
Oh, okay.
Now, if it makes it a little easier, we can actually, instead of your right hand being on the hi-hat,
Mm-hmm.
you could have it on the ride or that big tom instead, if that makes it a little easier, instead of crossing your arms.
That?
Either one, like whatever over there, either one of the toms or one of the rides.
So, don't do that.
No, still do that. Just instead of the hi-hat, do something that's over on that side. Actually, no, do the right cymbal. Do one of the big round ones, the metal ones. Yeah, do that one. So instead of the hi-hat, hit that one. So I'll still hit the hi-hat. You hit that one instead. All right.
So it's one. Give me the rhythm again.
So it's gonna be one. It's gonna be boom, pop, boom, pop. Remember, slow it down. Slow it down. Boom, pop, bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, snare. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. Bass, snare, bass. So try to hit the bass just one time. And one thing that helped me is
Oh,
if
just hit it in the beginning. I don't hit it every time I hit this.
right. So we're just gonna try to hit it on the 1 and the 3, right? So
Uh,
and what I like to do that helped me with the bass is I hit it kind of hard, right? Because that'll help me like okay, bass, snare, bass, snare. It gives it a little bit more definition and makes it pop out more in your mind, I think. So let's take it nice and slow. So we'll do one hit at a time, right? Just one hit at a time. So hi-hat and bass, or ride and bass. So bass by itself. So bass. No worries. So just follow my lead here. Let's do a repeat. I'll say what to do, and then you do it one note at a time. So, and every time I say anything, you're gonna hit that twice. One, bass. So let's do that. Bass, 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 bass. Make sure you hit the bass on the first hit. Bass, bass. Yep. Bass. One and. One and. One and. One and. Okay, so now let's make it just the first 3 notes. So now we're going to do, we're not even going to loop it. We're just going to do 3 notes and we're going to stop, okay? We're going to do bass, snare. And you can do it on the right if you want to. I'm just doing it on the hi-hat because I can reach it. Now on that last hit, try to hit both hands at the same time. So let's do instead of 1 and 2, let's do 1, 2, 3, and on the 1 and the 3, that's where we'll hit. So the 1 is going to be the bass, and the 3 is going to be the snare. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right. So now here's what we need to
do
fix.
the bass every time.
No, you're doing the bass perfectly right now. We need to hit the snare and the hi-hat at the same time.
All right.
So that means that you're going to need to either hit the hi-hat with, or you're going to need to hit the hi-hat with one hand and the snare in the other. You're not going to be able to switch back and forth or you'll miss the hi-hat. Okay. So we'll do it nice and slow. And yep. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. All right, we're gonna make it one note longer now. 1 and 2 and 3 and actually not 3. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 2. So we're doing perfectly. Let's get that bass on the 1. So nice and slow. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and bass and snare and bass and snare and bass and snare and. So what you're doing now is you're hitting the bass on every hit.
And I shouldn't.
No, just on the 1.
1 and the 3, right?
No. We're cutting the measure in half for now, just to work on the rhythm and to make the counting a little easier. So instead of counting all the way to 4, we're just counting to 2. So we're just doing 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. So in that case, we're going to be doing the bass on the 1 and the snare on the 2. So bass, snare, and bass and snare and bass and snare and bass and snare, bass and snare and bass and snare and bass and snare.
Can't do the bass in the beginning.
Yeah, the bass is tough. And remember, like I said, we'll slow down as much as we need to.
Yeah, I need to slow it down.
And bass and snare and bass and snare and bass and snare and bass and snare foot and hand and foot and hand, foot, hand and foot and hand, foot and hand and foot and hand. And two and one and two and. Yep. So let's start over. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and or maybe I can move my leg dramatically. So 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. Let me see. Is there another better way I can do this?
No, I mean, I think it's that I have to pick the rhythm up in my head.
Mm-hmm. So do you want me to give you an idea of what it would sound like? So let me. I'm gonna play what I'm going for. I can't reach the bass, so instead of doing the bass, I'm gonna hit the tom. Okay.
Okay.
Does that help at all?
Yeah.
Yep. So instead of so boom and pop and boom and pop and boom and pop and. That's what we're going for.
Hang on.
No worries. Pop and.
Wait.
Okay. All right, slow it down. Slow it down. Almost. You're so close. You're so close. Boom and pop and boom and pop and. He got it. He got it.
I don't know.
One and two and three and four and one and two and three and four and one and two and three and four, one and two and three and four, one and two and three and four, and two and three and four, and one and two and three and four, one and two and three and four, one and two and three and four, and one and two and. You're getting there. You're getting there. So I think the main thing we need to work on is making sure that we hit the bass on the 1 and the 3, because I think what might be happening is you might be hitting it either on the 1 and or on the 2. So you might be going boom, boom, which ends up being like boom, snare, boom, snare.
Yeah.
So we always want to, for this one, we want to do boom, snare, boom, snare, boom, snare, boom, snare. Exactly. And if it helps, like sometimes I'll do actually say out loud boom and pop and boom and pop and while you're playing. Give that a try. We're making good progress. We're making progress. That seemed to really help. Did that help?
Yeah, saying.
Cool. We're learning how to teach while we're learning how to drum.
Cool.
All right, so let's try to make it a little more interesting. So what I want to try now is we want to try to turn it into a repeatable groove. So what we're going to do is we're going to repeat the pattern 4 times. Or, well, when I say the pattern, I mean we're going to do 4 measures,
Okay.
which means 2 repeats each of the boom and snare and boom and snare and. That's 1 measure.
Okay.
So on the first one, though, the very first hit, instead of hitting the hi-hat, you're going to hit the crash and then transition to the hi-hat immediately after. So it's going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
Okay.
So give that a try.
Am I going to hit?
Yeah, you're going to hit the bass with the crash. So remember, you can still do your boom and pop thing. Pop and boom and pop and boom and pop, boom and pop. All right, slow it down as much as you need to. So remember, we're just hitting the crash 1 time, and then we're going to ignore it for a few measures.
Just hitting this 1 time.
1 time and then ignore it for a little while. And 2. All right, so let's slow down and let's just do the pattern on the hi-hat again 1 more time.
All
right, so what I want, perfect. So what I want you to do is you're going to do exactly that, but just for the first hit only, just that 1 hit, crash, and then immediately back down here. So it's going to be boom and pop, boom and pop. And then you ignore the crash after that.
Oh, just do that once and
Just
then go back
just
and
just to open it up.
All right.
So this is the opener. Yeah. All right. Go ahead and start it again start it with the crash and go back into your groove again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. Yep. No problem, Denali. All right, keep it slow. Do your boom and pop. Boom and pop and boom and pop. And
No, just once and then go in.
just 1 time and then forget it's there.
Okay.
Pop and pop and boom and pop and boom and pop and boom pop boom pop. You're getting it. You're making good progress. And boom and pop it. It's the foot that getting you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That,
if it was over here.
well, if you want here.
No.
No, we can actually make this slightly lefty friendly. So instead, go ahead and use this bass pedal instead of that one. And what we're gonna do, I've got this little lever here.
Uh-huh.
We'll just pop this lever, and it'll keep the hi-hat closed.
Okay.
So try using this bass pedal and see if it feels a little better for you.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So let's go and
All
There
right,
we
so let's try that.
go and give it a try. Boom and pop and boom and pop and. Yep. Good. Nice and slow. The left pedal's going to feel a little bit different from the right because it's got that connecting bar across. Whatever's most comfortable for you. And if you want to take your left foot off, we can just hit this little lever, and it'll keep it closed. It'll reopen if you put your foot back on the pedal. Boom. All right. Say it out loud if it helps. Boom and pop. Now, if you can, try to hit, whenever you hit the snare, try to hit the hi-hat with it. Yeah. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and boom and pop and boom. All right, slow it down and restart it if you need to. So you had like 95% perfect. The only thing you were missing is a hi-hat hit after the snare.
Okay.
Otherwise, you had it perfect.
Okay. So.
Yeah, that's it. So here's what I want to try. I'm going to put on a metronome, and it's going to have a different sound on the 1 and the 3,
Okay.
and on the 2 and the 4.
Okay.
So one sound will be for the bass hit, and then one sound will be for the snare hit.
Okay.
So let me get that turned on real quick. Like always, we are
1, 2, 3, 4.
You hear the different click noises? Bass, or bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, and every time you click, you want to hit every click. Yeah. It brings the beat. So now what I want you to try to do is every beat, one hit of the snare. So the only thing I want you to fix is on the snare you're doing this. Just hit the snare one time whenever it comes around. Boom.
All right.
And 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So you hear how you want pop pop on the snare? That's what we don't want to do. We just want to do pop. So it's gonna be boom, pop, boom, pop, boom, pop, boom, pop, boom, pop, boom, pop, boom, pop. So what you're doing is you're doing pop, 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 pop. What we want is just boom, pop, boom, pop. Just one pop. All right, so let me see. Yeah, I'll do another quick demo for you.
Okay.
See what you're doing with the snare there? Boom and pop and boom and pop and boom and pop, boom and pop. Perfect, perfect. Boom and pop. So how are you feeling compared to how you were at the beginning? How you feel like you've improved at all?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So what?
Still feel like
It's very difficult. So what do you think is the most difficult part so far?
remembering the rhythm.
Remembering. So for me, the hardest part is what we call limb independence, which
Yeah.
is each limb's ability to
Yeah.
do something different. And I actually still struggle with that, particularly with my left foot. And there are times when so you know how at one point you were going boom, 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 where your left or where your right foot kind of paired with your right hand.
Yeah.
That still kind of happened to me sometimes with certain patterns.
Well, anytime I hear this, seems like
And you want to know the funny thing about it? Like, so we were trying to learn one specific groove, right? But you ended up playing a few different ones just based on learning and mistakes, right?
right.
The fun part is, though, every one of those almost could actually be a groove.
Okay.
They weren't the groove we were going for,
Right.
but they could be grooves.
Okay.
So, like, now, think of it this way. We will. Exactly.
Now you were really,
It's the exact same thing you were doing, but it was just on a different instrument.
yeah. Cool.
So that's actually wrapping our time up a little bit. So did you have fun?
I did. I had a blast.
Yeah, I'm
I've
down to
never,
do this
I've
again
never
sometime
sat
if you want.
down at a pair of drums before.
It's very cathartic to me.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is.
Is that your phone?
I mean, even though it's loud, it is very like it helps you to focus your mind. Yeah, that's my phone.
Okay,
sorry.
no worries.
Yeah, I apologize. Yeah, it helps. It acts when you think people play the drums, you think they like, but it really helps your mind to focus. It
Yeah.
does.
And you have to be focused on what you're doing, otherwise
Yeah.
that's when you mess up. So
Mm-hmm.
if you have a hard time focusing, I would say that's a better reason to play drums,
Yeah,
right? Because
I agree.
it'll help you.
Yeah, it does. It takes you out of the moment because you have to fall into that rhythm in order to keep. You have to fall into it. Your mind can't be somewhere else, like I'm washing dishes or
Yeah.
somewhere. It has to be right on that, so it focuses you. So,
But-
yeah, I had a blast.
And eventually, you actually get past that where you can't. Once you play a certain groove long enough,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be thinking about like
Really?
what for dinner while you're
Okay.
doing that groove over and over
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
'Cause
Okay.
you're going to be relying on muscle memory at that point.
Right. Okay. I understand that.
Cool. Well, I appreciate everyone that stopped in to hang out with me and Rob while we gave him his very first drum lesson
Yep.
with my very first time as a teacher. Considering it's both of our first time, I feel pretty good about how we did.
Yeah.
'Cause this was a learning experience for both of us.
Yeah. I did. I had a blast.
Awesome.
I did.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate all of y'all coming in, hang out, and remember, drums are hard, music is hard. Be kind to yourself and go practice. Have a great weekend and come back on Monday at 1 p.m. We're going to keep doing, or not 1 p.m., sorry, 6 p.m. We're going to keep doing